Imo State Commissioner for Information, Declan Emelumba. But unfortunately, we are not able to get Declan Emelumba at this moment in time. We had reached out to him earlier and he had agreed to come on to the program. But unfortunately, just before a few minutes to this interview, he has said that he had state affairs to attend to. So at the moment, we only have Senator Okorocha with us. Would you have you join us on the program? Let's start with your initial take regarding this entire story. What happened and what led to your son-in-law's arrest?
Well, thank you. I wish you brought in the governor of Imo State, representing on this program, so that I can speak eyebrow to eyebrow with him and make the statement succinctly clear for the entire world may understand the situation in Imo State and not his commissioner for information. That would be belittling. But let me say that what is happening in Imo State has turned to a banana republic. And the fact that the government or Governor Okorocha is denying the fact that he was behind this unholy act makes the matter even more serious for him to have said so. Those who attended Uchenwosu's mother's burial, who are members of his House Assembly, were all suspended for attending that burial. Okorocha had made boast that on the 3rd of January, he will announce the names of those who are behind the insurgence of insecurity in Imo State. He has made so many allusions to the fact that he has owned up responsibility. But anytime he talks about denying the obviousity of the fact, makes him look little as a person, as a man in authority. So they should own up. In the first place, the vehicles that convert those government house police are Imo State government cars. And in fact, one of the patrol vehicles that carries the military that follow him is also always seen in his convoy. And the men who committed the act are men not to be in government house police. So how would he say he does not know? How would he do something and then hide and pretend that he does not know? Why does he have to lie in every situation in his life? So that is not, so he cannot say so. But if you're asking me for details of what happened, and I put it this so you can, maybe it will be the first station to get the complete gist of what really happened. On that fateful day, the police came into the church. They were numbering their hundreds, shooting sporadically, arresting Uchenwosu, who never resisted for once. And it is not true that the police ever issued any invitation. If you know who Uchenwosu is, Uchenwosu will gladly present himself, even on a text message from the police or phone call from the police. But that they never did. But they lied that they invited him 4 times. Then they came into the church while the sermon was going on, and there's a video to that effect. They never believed that social media could help situations like this. And they tapped on the gentleman, cocked gun in his face to shoot him. These guys never came as people who are coming to arrest. They came to abduct. The word arrest is underscoring the matter. They came to abduct him, but unfortunately for them, they were identified by some people, despite the fact that they were wearing their hood or face mask to commit the erroneous act. They pushed out my wife, the former First Lady of Imo State. They tore my daughter's dress in trying to hold back her husband from being taken away. They shot sporadically. There are more than 100 ammunitions that have been picked on the street of Nkwere. Now, and on their way going, they brushed the government house, changed the entire convoy they were with. Now, went into an Audi car, single car with 2 policemen holding Uche in between, and with the driver and another security man driving straight to Enugu. Halfway into the place, they had to remove many of the torn clothes from Uchenwosu and handcuffed him inside the car and took pictures of him and sent down to the governor, who was, of course, in charge. Now, they kept the private jet at Enugu. On arrival, they put him in a private jet and took him to Abuja, unknown to the Inspector General of Police. this was some kind of dirty job they must have done with some of the officers of the policemen in the headquarters. This was unknown because the IG I know is too clean for this kind of thing. And it's a no-nonsense IG. Maybe they thought it was past administrations of IG that they would do this kind of thing and get away with it. But this is not the first time this gentleman has done this. The question is, why do you not even allow a young man with tears in his eyes mourning the mother to come out of the church, lay ambush perhaps somewhere, intelligently, and arrest him outside the church? Why must you go inside the church? This is how they mess up the image of Nigeria. And wherever we go now, we become a laughing stock because of somebody like Hope Uzodinma in the face of governance of a state, which he shouldn't be in any way. Look at the level of now. He said on the 3rd, he's going to mention the names of those who have been causing insecurity in Imo State. I wish he would do that, but shame beholds him if he does not mention those names by the 3rd. Or he should take responsibility to be the person behind all this insecurity in Imo State. People should not keep people one side and go ahead another person and mention other people's names. Look at the cooked up story they're trying to cook up. By calling an armed robbery case that took place in Delta. The young man was first for court 1 month ago and he was asked questions. He mentioned nobody's name. Only for him to be taken to police custody and dressed up in nice shirt and be asked and told what to say. Even then, his statement cannot be put right. But I'm glad to announce that. Just let me just tell you. I'm glad to announce, maybe you don't know, that Uche is not in the police custody. The IG has magnanimously released, let Uche go because there's nothing whatsoever to write about that young man.
Senator, so just to confirm, is he still in custody or has he been let go?
He has been let go. In fact, he never slept even in the police station. The IG I commend the person of the Inspector General of Police. I commend him seriously. I wish this is the image of Nigerian police. When he heard of the matter, I'm sure he was troubled. I never believed this could happen in a modern time. You know, this gentleman called Hope Uzodinma, in his deceitful manner, keep painting the picture that he has the presidency, the police, army, SSS behind him. He can do whatever he likes. He can maim and kill at will and destroy at will and do everything, and nobody will ask questions. So that is the situation we find ourselves. And everybody in Imo State lives in a state of fear. People, I wish you were in Imo State and understand the level. And I do not know why the APC government will not look into what's happening in Imo State. They are treating Imo State as if Imo State is not part and parcel of this country. And it pains me as an individual because I was one of those who from this APC, it took 4 of us, 4 parties led by President Mohamed Buhari, by Tinubu, by Wenan, and myself to form APC. Otherwise, we wouldn't have some of these people who come today to speak on the affairs of this party. And this APC government has been rubbished.
Okay, so one of the things we want to know, what was the reason upon which, what was the reason that was given for his arrest, or in your own words, abduction? And also, what's really going on between you and Hope Uzodinma? Because as far as we know, both of you are of the same party. Why can't this matter be resolved amicably behind closed doors?
Don't you ever use the word that we're the same party. Uzodinma has no base. I have no base for comparison between me and Uzodinma, based on party, based on personality, on anything of life. Please never compare me with Uzodinma. That would be a wrong statement. Uzodinma was never a member of the APC. Till today, Uzodinma doesn't have a word registered in his name, APC. President Mohamed Buhari fed woefully his boat, fed woefully his word. He was a member of APC. It was Oshimole and Gulag Dram that brought him into what they call ticket that he never won. And in the May election, he came fourth, never won. And later, through what they call the technicalities of Nigerian system of governance, the Supreme Court gave it to him. And instead of that man to keep quiet over an undeserved victory, he's messing it up by creating insecurity in the state. So he was never a member of this party, and Hope Uzodinma is still not a member of this party as far as I'm concerned. Hope Uzodinma was never elected by people of Imo State and was never so elected. He was the most unpopular human being and has never won an election in his life. But for any reason, but the court has given to him from technicalities of lawyers not presenting paper the way they should present, given. I don't know what it is. But Hope Uzodinma never won that election. And that's why you see the hand of God on daily visits in the state crying for justice. And the people of Imo State are crying for justice because the gentleman that won this election was Uche Nwosu, ab initio and Isofato. He never won, but it was taken out of him by the political cabals who didn't want to see anything good that will happen in Imo State.
Right.
APC is Rochas, and as far as I'm concerned, he's not a member of the APC.
The abduction or the arrest of Uche Nwosu, has there been any reason given, now that he has been released, reasons given as to why he was accosted in such a violent manner?
Okay, let me tell you.
Reasons been.
Now listen, if you look at the gunshots that took place during his arrest, it could be equal to that of Afghanistan war in a rescue mission. Now, if you look at the number of gunshots that greeted his arrest, what I call abduction, you know that the offense must have been so severe in the minds of those who concluded and arranged this whole unholy act. And if the arrest was such serious, or abduction was that serious, Uche Nwosu wouldn't have been released the following day before 7 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. That means there was nothing. It was a politically cooked up story by Hopus Odima and by his people. And the people behind this are mentioned. There's one Shaba. Shaba is a police officer that was the same person. They understand the story. Just what pains me in this country is that our journalists must learn to be detailed and help the people of this country, even where government is not doing their best. What happened? The same Shaba, who is the man behind Hopus Odima and one Olajimeji, in the anti-kidnap squad. These are the two instruments he's using in Imo State to commit all kinds of havoc. Then Sam Shaba was the person who arrested me without a court order, without a court warrant. And that day, the same day, if not for a police officer who could communicate in Hausa language, this speak to me and say, Rankai the Masa Kagudu Zesukasheka. In other words, sir, please move fast. Were ordered to kill you, they will kill you. That was I got myself into the police pickup. I wasn't dragged to the police pickup by the same Shaba has some relationship with some people at the headquarters who gives him this power over financial arrangement. That's how he get to commit this unholy act. And when he acted, the same Shaba was the person who shot my son-in-law. Again, not Uche, the one married my second daughter. Who came there? He shot him, and the young man was in America for 4 months. He just came back recently. Shot him on the leg, and were looking to kill him. Now, so this is happening in a country to a man of my caliber, having governed this state for 8 years, a sitting senator. Then you could imagine what will happen to ordinary citizens.
Right. Yes, you're right. You know, this rift between you and Hopus Odima seems to be causing a lot of leadership issues in the state. How would you like for the matter to be resolved amicably? I know, you've already explained your anger towards him at the moment, but for the benefit of the people of Imo State, for the benefit of the state itself as well, how would you like for this matter to be resolved going forward?
When you say there's a rift between two individuals, it then means there's some interest they are trying to protect. My interest has nothing to do with Hope's interest. Hope is far below what I'm looking for in this life. And so what is he looking for? I'm not going to be a governor again. I'm not going to run for governor again. I'm not going to run for Senate again. I don't intend to run for Senate. If there's any position left for me to run in this country, it will be the presidency of Federal Republic of Nigeria or nothing else. So why is the conflict of interest? Other than the display of hate, anger, and envy. That's where it's coming from the guy. There's just hate, anger, and envy. So when you say there's as if we're struggling over who become, his mate should be Uche Nwosu, who won the election that he took by force. So I have nothing with him. They should advise him to stop hating. Why does he hate a man who has done nothing to him? Why should he? The day they announced him as an illegal, a court legal governor, but illegal in the eyes of the public, I went to him and I stood by him to see whether he can corner some favor from the people, because I still represent the face of APC in Imo State. And that gentleman he called the governor of the people now cannot walk on the street. I challenge him, let him come out, let me come out on the street. He's now who know who owns this land and who has the favor of the people. So there's no basis for comparison at all. And he knows that. So when you say try to correct it, it means that there's nothing to correct other than for the government and those who he uses their armed forces, especially the army now. And I called on Chief of Army Staff to desist from giving him any more army. Air Force to stop giving him Air Force, which will enable him come and commit havoc in the state. The police should never give him any more police. Let him be entitled to constitutional police, not to move with armored tanks and commit havoc in the street. If he's a governor, let him walk on the street or drive a normal car. Why move in a bullion van and armored tank every time?
Since this section has devolved into this, what actions will be taken by Uche Nwosu and his camp in terms of the arrest and the release? Because it seems like answers haven't been given as to exactly why he was arrested, and the manner in which he was released seems a little bit hasty as well. Will he be taking any legal actions?
I have my issues, my personal issues, which I also will speak for himself. He's a man, but I have my personal issues. I have a human rights issues to address, and I've kept quiet over these years because of one thing, because of the name APC, and because of the name President Muhammad Buhari. My respect for him. Because any attempt to expose the ill will amount to roachers not behaving like a party man. But I've lived in pains for too long in this country that my wife will be insulted. I have never insulted his wife, never insulted his daughter, never insulted him. So the human rights, by now the Human Rights International should hear of what's happening in Imo State. Holy. It's a shame. And that's why someone like Moses will still be parading himself and going to Abuja and do something. And I want to advise those whether those supporting from the president, they asked for where they went there and screamed that there are unclaimed corpses. Who are these not children of people? Till today, nobody has said who killed them, how they were killed.
But earlier on, you did mention about the residents in Imo State regarding how they are reacting to current developments. And also, do you think they did not abuse the office as governor? What do you think should be the repercussions of that?
In the first place, let me ask you, gentlemen. You must be a Christian or a Muslim. Is it right in the first place to move into the church to commit an arrest and scare the people? People run out of the house of God, helter-skelter. Was it right to put gunshots to arrest an individual of that class, a former gubernatorial candidate in this country? Is it right for the governor to hire a private jet? Is it now the government of Federal Republic? Who gave the money to put the private jet? Is it right for them to handcuff an innocent son of this land, put him on handcuff as a criminal? So in Imo State, it's condemnation. The whole world has condemned it. But this is the last straw that will break the camel's back. The government of Imo State must be told how to behave and separate governance from politics. When governance comes, politics must disappear. Because governance is for everybody. As a leader, as a governor of this state, I had political enemies who spoke all evil about me. They never said anything good about me. They always say I did nothing. But yet, my record cannot be equal to any in the history of this state. But I subsume my anger as a leader to bring everybody on board. Never arrested any one person during my time. Now, he's dealing by intimidation. So people are condemning that. People are afraid. People are affected to fear. But the anger of the people of Imo State is that in all these happenings, federal government has not shown enough to know what's happening. They tend to, the young man thinks he's smart. He presents a picture to say, oh, look at, oh, you
I'm APC and for President Muhammad Buhari, and because of my love for President Muhammad Buhari, IPOP doesn't like me. That's criminal liar. Nobody's against Buhari. He's the one that painted Buhari bad in Imo State. When I was there, people loved Buhari. When I was here, people loved Buhari. But he created that mission, and he smartly go back to the presidency and said, look, I'm the only one fighting for you. The Igbos don't like you. Painting the Igbos bad before the entire nation. That man ought not to have been a governor in the first place, for crying out loud. And I'm sorry to have lost my grandpa this afternoon.
Senator, we thank you so much for coming on the show, for clearing up quite a couple of points, and also hope for the peace and the lessening of the anger and the tension around this situation. Thank you so much for joining the program this afternoon.
Thank you.